Hey guys, there's the new mini expansion coming out, and you're probably trying to figure out what decks to build. And this week, the Grandmasters have kind of gotten the start because we had to submit our deck list before the mini expansion is even released. So, because of that, we've kind of, a lot of us have figured out decks and ideas that already are working. So I've got some deck lists for you guys that I think are real good, that the Grandmasters brought. So these aren't just meme decks. These are decks that people with their playoff life going for worlds chose to bring. So they're generally good. I got one that didn't make the cut, but I thought is really cool too. So first, I want to show you guys my Nzoth Demon Hunter list. This is so Nzoth Deathrattle Demon Hunter. Deathrattle Demon Hunter got a lot of powerful tools, mainly this Devouring Ectoplasm and this Fel Rattler. This Fel Rattler is really, really good because it kind of addresses the deck's biggest weakness in that these kind of wide tokeny boards just kind of wreck you. And with that, it's a lot easier to come back on board. In addition, Sigil of Summoning is actually a very, very strong card, and is another very natural 2-drop. So now the deck has two very powerful 2-drops, Razorboar and Sigil of Summoning. I'm also running Ace Hunter Kreen. I think a lot of the Deathrattle Demon Hunters lists aren't running him. He's amazing. Everyone's going to be running him. Don't worry. Trust me. You'll see that this will be standard pretty soon. Running double Vengeful Spirits. I could see this. I know Dreadeye cut this to 1, but I definitely think at least 1 is good. And I'm also running Vectis. So this is all very top end, very expensive. We got a good amount of legendaries, I think, in this deck that people don't want to play. Vectis, Death Speaker, Nzoth. So the probably 2 legendaries, if you're on a budget, you don't need are Vectis and Nzoth, but even like Ace Hunter is so good, so you could play this deck without Nzoth, just kind of as is. But anyways, so because the Nzoth, you might be saying, has anti-synergy with the Sigil Summoning because this summons demons and this summons this. So in a greedy matchup, you might not play Sigil Summoning just so you can get the Nzoth revival. But in a faster matchup, Sigil Summoning is absolutely worth it. And sometimes you still high roll the Eldar Inquisitor off Nzoth anyways. So anyways, I think this deck's real strong. I actually think it's going to be tearing up the ladder. I think it's going to be the best new archetype of the expansion. Or it's not truly new archetype, but a kind of modified archetype. Next, I have my Rush Warrior list. So the main difference between my Rush Warrior list and the old Rush list is I'm running Kresh, Lord of the Turtling. This card is insane. It's kind of like Karen Bloodhoof. You played it down, and it's so annoying for your opponents to deal with. You're going to get 8 armor. You're going to get like ridiculous amounts of weapon swings, which you usually can't even use because you have enough weapon swings from your Imprisoned Gnarg and Sword Eaters. And it's the only beast we run in our deck. So Nzoth, I put in as well, revives this. So when I revive a Nzoth, I'll get Imprisoned Gnarg, a 10th Thrasher, sometimes even a Claw Machine. So I'm running a 1-of Claw Machine. I think it's a fantastic addition. Often you're keeping bumper cards, so often your Ringmaster will not draw a mech, so this increases the chances you draw a mech. Also, the value potential is insane. If you're in a value-heavy matchup, you can play this with Playmaker. You get 2 6/3 rushes, and then you draw 2 cards, and they both have 2 minions, and they both have +3/+3. Insane value. So I'm a big fan of this card. But yeah, I think this list is really solid. You can really go toe-to-toe with the kind of control-heavy line decks, where kind of old Rush Warrior, my original list was a lot faster, but this is a lot kind of more fast on board, going for the kill, but this is a lot more slow, value heavy. I think this is the direction Rush Warrior is going. So next, I got a control list. I think this is the same list for RDU and Theiss. I think they're the exact same list. This runs Mutinous the Devouring and Crush the Turtle. Those are the big 2 additions to the deck. Mutinous can really is the big anti-control card. You know, you're playing against a rogue, you hit their Tenwu, you hit their Alex, you can just deny them their OTK and win the game. Crush is just an insane amount of armor. You play it down, it's super annoying, and it can get you, 8 armor. So I think a lot of Grandmasters brought this archetype. So I think definitely big, strong additions to the archetype. This one also runs Silas and Ashpound. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I like the going for it. So there's a lot of win conditions. I think they're trying. So I could see Cunning Cthulhu, stuff like that. But I think over time, as maybe the meta gets more figured out, but overall, very solid archetype that I think is going to be quite strong. And next I'm going to go to this one. This is the list Viper brought for Warlock. I think it looks real interesting. It runs the Unstable Shadow Blast. This card's really, really good in testing. I was testing it out and couldn't find a Warlock archetype I quite like, but what I like about this is Viper runs Headmaster Kel'Thuzad, so at 7 mana you can play this plus this, kill a minion, and get a free minion. Big tempo swing potential. So those are the two kind of new additions. He's also running Archdruid Narrowlex, which I'm not sure if that's actually good in the deck, but it's spicy. So I think this card is going to be very, very good for Control Warlock. And finally, this is a list that I played against Yarla in testing, but he didn't end up bringing. But I just thought it was so cool, so I had to feature it. It runs Stealer of Souls. So what you do is you often will go Tour Guide, and then you'll play this on 4 and tap and get a card that costs life. And there's a ton of high rolls. So one of the things you can do is, let's say you get Headmaster Kel'Thuzad and you have Cascading Disaster in hand. Well, then you play next turn you play Headmaster Kel'Thuzad, and then you corrupt your Cascading Disaster, play the Cascading Disaster, and then you kill your opponent's 2 minions and steal them. And there's some really crazy tempo swings. In addition, you can do it on Malygos. And what often happens is you'll play this, and you'll have all of the Soul Shears in your deck. So you get a bunch of your health back and also fill up your hand. So that's a really powerful thing you can do with it. Probably weak to aggro, realistically, but I really like the concept overall. I think it's a really cool concept, and I hope it gets more refined and becomes a standard meta thing. But yeah, I think it's a really cool new take on Control Warlock. Sad it didn't quite make the testing cut because I wanted to see it in action, but a really cool deck overall. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. I got deck codes in the comments, so hope you guys like these decks. Enjoy, have some fun with the new mini expansion, and happy climbing.